in 2026, we're going to be offering CPR first aid classes. We can't teach swimming in a silo without safety. We also do some water like stamina classes where it's deep water activity, our history, how we became, who we are, what we offer. Students can't learn efficiently and effectively. Hi, I'm Sam with Legacy Tide, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our history, how we became, who we are, what we offer. So in 2022, I started teaching swimming again, really just as a way to figure out what was next after being really frustrated in corporate America. I'd taught swimming, extensively, but I had taken a break from it. And it took off so well that even in the first year, I hired two instructors to help me, one of whom who still works with me. And at that time, our company was called Smiles Assistants, just S Smiles, play on my name. But after a few years of that, I realized that we needed a name that better represented who we are and kind of our ethos as a company. So in 2024, we rebranded to Legacy Tide, a little bit more like a swim company than a dentist office. And as I mentioned, what we started doing is teaching swim lessons, but we've evolved and now we teach swim lessons. We do lifeguard staffing. We offer water safety and water fitness classes. So a lot of people think that water fitness classes are these really easy workouts for their grandma at the YMCA. And we're really committed to showing people that no matter your fitness level, water fitness classes can be challenging for you. I have a history of chronic pain, so I love doing stuff in the water because it's really accessible for me. And that's really a theme with the people that we teach too, is that it's people who are recovering from injury, going and lifting weights at the gym. They're not ready for that, or maybe, they're just not interested in that and they like being outside. And so water fitness classes in the traditional sense have been a really great way to access more people, get more people in the water moving. We also do some water like stamina classes where it's deep water activity. So we'll be maybe taking a weight and seeing, can you carry it while you swim along the bottom of the pool? So those are kind of endurance builders. A lot of people who do kind of Ironmans or triathlons, they're really fit already and they want to do something that can improve their aerobic capacity. Then we also have water fitness classes available for them. Private lifeguarding, we offer that to a lot of our swim clients who have pools and who want to have a birthday party or something like that so that they can have peace of mind that someone that they know and trust will be watching over the whole party and they're not having to be so preoccupied with hosting a party, watching the pool, ensuring safety, ensuring kids are following the rules, all of that. So private lifeguarding has been a really awesome way for us to be involved in the community and to be at those birthday parties of our swim clients oftentimes. And so that's been really fun. Water safety classes, we realized that we can't teach swimming in a silo and not include water safety classes. So we have to do things like teach parents how to watch the pool when they go to the community pool with their kids, or if for nannies, even how to do CPR. So next year in 2026, we're going to be offering CPR first aid classes. And that's a really important part of that education component, that we can't teach swimming in a silo without safety. And we can't teach safety in a silo without CPR first aid. And we don't have to be the one that provides that, but it makes sense that we can offer all of that so that it's more of a one-stop shop. So our safety classes, private citizens will hire us for a group, like a mom's group or something like that. But then we also do it for free for community events at libraries. We just really believe that that information is so valuable and it shouldn't necessarily be behind a paywall. And that's what a lot of our social media is too, right? We share a lot of that content and that information because it's really important. But our bread and butter still is swim lessons. And we teach swim lessons. 90% of our business is still swim lessons. We do group classes, mostly private classes, but our group classes are capped at 3 students per instructor. We're not doing these massive 6-student classes. Instructors can't teach efficiently and effectively. Students can't learn efficiently and effectively. And there is a social element of going to swim classes no matter the ratio, right? But if you have the opportunity to learn faster, why wouldn't you, right? Because a lot of the times you're going to be paying the same amount of money if you're paying $30, $40, $50 for one of these classes that has a really high ratio, and takes you 6 months to learn to swim, versus if you pay a higher rate to get more individualized attention, that is the best use of your time and money. And I've also found that it helps me keep instructors longer because they're happier. It's not as exhausting and taxing on them. And I feel that. I've been someone who's taught 6 kids at once, had 5 minutes to try and run to the bathroom, try and connect with parents, and then teach 6 more and do that 5 times in a row. And it's also not, it doesn't really help the parents stay connected to the classes because we don't have enough time to talk with them to say, here's what you need to practice. Or even if we're teaching adults, which we do teach a lot of adults, we don't have time to say, okay, here's your homework, or what questions did you have that we didn't get answered. Whereas our model is like, let's just slow things down. Let's focus on the relationship. Let's ensure that you have the context to succeed. And that's full spectrum, right? That's from the student to the teacher to the parent if they're, if it's a kid. And we just see so much better outcomes because we're not so rushed. It also helps us build trust with those fear-based swimmers a little bit better because, I'm sure we've all heard of those swim programs where the scared kid is asked to jump in the water, and if he doesn't jump in, they move on to the next kid. But there's no conversation with that kid to try and meet them where they're at a lot of times. And so that's kind of where our model is different. We are trying to focus on that relationship. And I knew that that was going to be the core of our rebrand, is to say, how can we focus on that relationship and that kind of longevity of the process? We don't want to just teach you to swim and then never see you again. We want to build those skills so that you have a lifelong love for the water. And so Legacy Tide was a really great marriage of those in terms of the name, because you're building a legacy here. We're not just building something that's a one and done class. We're really building something that is going to last, and Tide just ties it back to the water. But our focus in our teaching approach is really that Montessori-inspired, student-led. So we're helping the students uncover their own potential, right? So I don't come to class with an agenda of I do, but I'll explain it in a second. So I don't come to class and say, here's the first thing we're going to do, second thing we're going to do, third thing we're going to do, fourth thing. But obviously, if we're teaching a 3-year-old who can't yet swim independently, we have some skills in our heads that we want to cover. But there's a difference between coming to the class and saying, here's what we're going to do, and you're going to do it or else, versus, oh, hey, do you want to work on front skills or back skills first? Giving children the autonomy to decide what they want to do, even though I'm only giving them options that I'm okay with. I'm not giving them, do you want to swim on your back or do nothing or go swim with the noodle? I'm not giving them that option. I'm giving them the autonomy to make the choice, but either of the choices are something that I'm okay with. And I'm also helping them set goals, right? If they say, okay, I want to swim on my front. Do you want to swim to this red boat or this blue boat? How far do you think you can swim? I'm helping kids who don't even understand the concept of goals start to formulate their own goals. So you can also imagine the impact that this approach has that we use in swimming outside of swimming context, right? Kids are becoming more independent agents and also developing their own love for the water in what that looks like for them, right? Kids who have persistent ear infections, they don't love to go on their back. It's the water in their ears just can be really uncomfortable. And so for whatever reason, there's so many different what ifs and situations that kids can learn that they don't like this or they do like this. But the important thing is that we're honoring those choices. But at the same time, we're not honoring those choices without regard to their ability. So if they say, I don't want to do X, Y, or Z, we still have an obligation as an instructor to honor their ability and their skill to know they can do that. That is an appropriate challenge for them. And we have to figure out how we can get them excited about trying that. And it's a lot harder than just saying, I'm going to throw you in the water, right? It's a lot harder to convince a 3-year-old, right? But through the use of play, imagination, we're really creative in how we get kids to do things. And not only kids, right? Adults can oftentimes be even harder because they have a lot more years of fear, anxiety, not swimming, oftentimes. And so convincing them, having to logic them out of their own logic can oftentimes be harder. So I'll stop here. I can do another in-depth video about our teaching approach, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a history of where we came from, who we are today. Our focus is swim lessons. That is our bread and butter. We do small group, mostly private instruction. That is our favorite way to teach. That is our top recommendation because students learn faster. And we're able to have this really intimate relationship with the people we're teaching and the caregivers, the people around them. But we also offer private lifeguarding, water safety, water fitness classes, and new for 2026, CPR and first aid classes. We also offer some online coaching programs, but those depend on the time of year and they're all swimming focused, swim class focused. So that'll be like how teaching parents with under 1 year olds how to practice in the pool or bath time. We have different programs like that, but that changes and it's all swim under the swims class umbrella. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.